Chapter 719. Mr. Joey and Ethan Joey disappeared from their sight. Don Stevens suddenly found Master Anderson's punishment amusing. He got the two men panicking for the rest of their lives without getting his hands dirty. It was the best punishment for them. At this moment, the 6 bodyguards were still laying on the floor of the diamond room. Don Stevens asked, "Master Anderson, what do you want to do with these men? Do you want to kill them, or?" Alex clicked his tongue and asked, think. "Do you have any good ideas?" Don Stevens glared at Andrew with utter resentment and hatred. Never did he imagine that the Whale family would actually kill him. Thanks to Master Anderson, he managed to survive. Otherwise, he would have already died in Andrew's hands. Therefore, Don Stevens' hatred towards the Whale family had reached its peak in an instant. He wished he could just chop Andrew up into a million pieces right now. He turned to Alex and said, "Master Anderson, leave these guys to me." Alex asked curiously, "What do you plan to do?" Don Stevens said coldly, "I'll take them to my dog pound and feed them to my dogs little by little." Then, he added, "Well, I'll let my dogs have their first treats tonight, their penises." Andrew and the gang howled in fear and shock upon hearing it. The ruthless and powerful hitmen were all crouching on the floor and cried in despair. Andrew cried until he couldn't catch his breath and pleaded, "Master Anderson, Don Stevens, please forgive me. I'm sorry, I'm very very sorry, please spare me." The other 4 guys also begged, crying loudly. Alex looked at Don Stevens and donned an ambiguous grin. They're just the Whale family's dogs. The Whale family won't mind about how many of their dogs die. It isn't a big deal for them. Why don't we do it a little differently, make it a little more interesting? Andrew and the gang heaved a long sigh of relief. From the looks of it, they would not die, after all. Don Stevens asked quickly, "Master Anderson, what do you have in mind?" Alex tilted his head to think for a while and said, "Well, carve some words on their forehead then, let them show it to Fury Whale when they go back." Then, he turned to the 6 men and said coldly, "Which of you want to go first?" "There's a first come first serve bonus, it will be 4 words for the first guy, 5 the next, and so on." Andrew's heart skipped a beat when he thought of the tragic scene when Don Stevens had carved words on Mr. Joey's forehead and he wanted to continue begging for mercy. However, one of them suddenly shouted, knowing that they couldn't escape the penalty, "Me. I'll go first." Someone else shouted, "I'm second." "I'm third." "Me, I'm fourth." The 5 men took their turns one immediately after another as if they were playing a game of bingo. Andrew, who had not spoken the whole time, had to take the 6th slot. He was so depressed and upset that he wanted to die right there and then.